Hey guys, Miss Hatter here. Sorry for the background noise in advance, but I wanted to make sure you had at least one video that you could use to help you define the area of two-dimensional shapes. So we're going to start off with a rectangle. The area of a rectangle is base times height or length times width. It doesn't matter which one is which. You just multiply the two sides together. So if this side was 8 and this side was 2, to find the area of this rectangle, you just multiply 8 times 2. So 8 times 2 is 16. All right, with a triangle, it's base times height, and then you divide it by 2. So the two main types of triangles you're going to see are like isosceles and a right triangle. So in an isosceles triangle, the base and the height have to be perpendicular to each other. So the height usually goes through the triangle, and you'll see a box. In a right triangle, the legs are already perpendicular to each other. So those are the base and the height. So in a isosceles triangle, if this was 10 and this was 2, it's base times height and then divide that number by 2. That's how you find the area of a triangle. So 10 times 2 and then divide that by 2. So 10 times 2 is 20. 20 divided by 2, the area of this first triangle would be 10. The right triangle, let me switch colors. If that would be like if this was 10 and this is 8, this side, we don't need this. This is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is not perpendicular to anything, so we are never going to use that side to multiply when we go to find the area. So one of these is the base, the other is the height. So base times height divided by 2. So 8 times 10 is 80. 80 divided by 2, the area of this triangle would be 40. All right, with a circle, you need to know the radius. The radius goes from the center to the edge. The diameter goes all the way across. So if this radius is 4, your diameter would be 8 because it's 4 over here and another 4 over here. So the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So pi, we can use 3.14 times the radius squared. I like to put the radius in parentheses, and you just plug that whole thing into the calculator. So I don't have a calculator right now, but 4 squared is 16. So it would be like 3.14 times 16. There's also a button in the calculator for pi. You could use that also. All right, a trapezoid has two bases. Those are the two that are parallel. So there's the short base, and then there's the long base. But those are your two bases. The height goes through on the inside. And again, it should be perpendicular. So the area for a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2. So the short base plus the long base. Then after you add them together, you multiply by the height, and then you divide that answer by 2. So if I make the short side, let me put some numbers on here. If I make this side 10, this side 4, let's make the height 5. So to find the area of this, first I would do 10 plus 4 times 5 and then divided by 2. And you can honestly type it in the calculator just like that if you wanted to. But I'm going to add the bases first. So 10 plus 4 is 14. 14, multiply that by 5 and then divide that answer by 2. So 14 times 5 is 70. And 70 divided by 2 is 35. So the area of this trapezoid is 35. All right, so the formulas are on your orange sheet. All you have to do is pick out the numbers, plug it into the formula, and then just plug it into the calculator. With a right triangle, because we need both of the legs in order to find the area, sometimes one of the legs is missing. And so that's when you might have to do the Pythagorean theorem to find one of the legs. So I'm going to erase some of this so I have a little bit more room. So if you have to do Pythagorean theorem, it'll look like this. The hypotenuse will be there, and you'll know one of the sides. Sorry, let me make this make this 13. You're going to know one of the sides, but not the other leg. And so this leg is important because this is the height. 5 would be the base. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 13 is the hypotenuse, so that has to go in the C spot. So 13 squared. And now it doesn't matter which one of these you make A and which one you make B. So 5 squared plus B squared equals 13 squared. The important part is from here, you do 5 squared and you do 13 squared. Getting rid of the exponents needs to be your first step. So 5 squared is the same as 5 times 5. 13 squared is the same as 13 times 13. Now from here, because they're on different sides of the equals, you have to subtract. And every single time you're looking for a leg, you're going to have to subtract because the leg is supposed to be smaller. So 169 minus 125 is 144. And then the last step, you do this button in the calculator, you take the square root. So your leg is equal to 12, and now I could do the area. Area is base times height divided by 2. So 5 times 12 divided by 2. So you see, I'm not going to use the 13 to find the area, but the 13 helped me find the missing side. So 5 times 12 is 60, and 60 divided by 2 is 30. All right, so I hope this helped. If it doesn't help you as much as you need, you can definitely go on YouTube and just look up finding the area of a triangle, finding the area of a circle, finding the area of a rectangle, and I'm sure a million other videos will pop up as well. You can also email me and I'll help you if you have other questions.